Okay, let's, good evening. Today is, meeting call to order. If everybody can mute. There you go. Thank you so much. Today is Thursday, September 10th, 6 o'clock. The Las Vegas Clark Library District Board of Trustees meeting on September 10th. Pursuant to the governor's directive, we're having a meeting, doing it via WebEx. May I have roll call, please?
Chair Ortiz.
Present.
Trustee Bilbray-Axelrod.
Here.
Trustee Benavides.
Here.
Trustee Wadley-Munay. I know she's there.
She's muted.
Unmuted.
And she's present, thank you. Trustee Foyt.
It wants me to name show times.
You want to mute yourself again now that you're present?
She did.
Okay. Trustee Francis Drake.
Here.
Trustee Melendrez.
Here.
Trustee Raymaker.
Here.
Trustee Rogers.
Present.
Trustee Wilson.
Here.
You have a quorum, Chair Ortiz. Chair Ortiz, did you want to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, please. Are we ready? Very nice, thank you. Together, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Thank you, Brian. Okay, tell me if I'm yelling, please. Tonight's meeting, we have public comment. Topics under this item must be limited to matters on today's agenda. If you wish to comment on an item appearing on this agenda, you may send it to board comments at LVCCLD.org. Please let us know. We're ready for public comment.
We have no public comment at this time, Chair Ortiz.
Thank you very much. I have somebody accept the proposed agenda.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
So Roger, second by Shannon. Bilbray, favor? Aye.
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 Excuse me, Chair Ortiz, I show that as Trustee Rogers who moved it with Trustee Bilbray-Axelrod as second. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
It's 11. Here, let me go down this so we have Ms. Benavides, your vote? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Ms. Axelrod?
Yes.
Marilyn Francis Drake?
Yes.
Elizabeth Foyt is excused. Jose Luis Melendrez?
Yes.
Chair, yes. Trustee Sandra Raymaker?
Yes.
Trustee Rogers?
Yes.
Trustee Robin Wadley-Munay?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Brian Wilson?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Next item on our agenda, we have approval of proposed minutes. Prior minutes in your packet was board regular meeting for April 16th, April 28th, July 23rd, and August 15th. We're going to take them individually. Can I entertain a motion for approve the April 16th minutes?
So moved.
So moved by Shannon. Is there a
second.
Second by Sandra Raymaker. All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Is anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Request a motion for special board meeting minutes approval of April 28th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Senator Raymaker, second by Trustee Rogers. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Request a motion for approval of special board meetings of July 2020. Will somebody
Move.
So moved.
by Sandra Raymaker?
Second.
Second by Shannon Bilber Axelrod. All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. And the last one, our minutes from the regular board meeting of August 13th, 2020. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I move to approve.
Move to approve by Wally Munier. Is there a second?
Second by Jose.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody that opposes it? Okay. So all the past board minutes have been approved. Moving on our agenda item. The report, let's look at discussion regarding the 2021 board meeting schedule. So basically, it's the same meeting schedule as it is every year, with the exception of, and our director can talk about that, the October, in case we need to move the October, but it's the regular schedule, January 21st, February 11th, these are all in 2021, March 11th, April 8th, May 20th, June 10th, July 8th, August 12th, September 9th, October 14th, November 10th, and December the 9th. Okay, this is just a report, and I have no more further items.
May I check?
Go ahead.
I was just curious, the May 20th, if I look at my calendar, it's Tuesday 13th, and I was just wondering, not that it affects me because I will likely be off the board, but I was just wondering why that changed.
The May meeting, if I might, Chair Ortiz, the May meeting is due to state requirements for the budget, and that's why it's a little later than normal.
Got it.
Mute everybody. Thank you. All right, very good. Director, it's your director's report. If you can please, if you have any comments. Mr. James?
Yes, I do. Like I like to bring the board up to date. On this coming Monday, we will open urban branches early for students who show an ID and other proof of study that they're students. And students under 12 must be accompanied by an adult. And in a couple of weeks, Trustee Rainmaker, we will also be bringing early student hours to Mesquite Library. We had some employee issues that we need to make sure we had enough staffing to be able to do that. Now, that's the only thing I'd like to bring up in my report, but there's something else I'd like to do is I would like for Jennifer Schimber to unmute and show herself on the video camera. Jen, are you there, Jen?
Yes.
Okay, Jen, so can we see your picture? There you go. Where?
I think so. We're here.
Okay. Jen has accepted the VEST buyout. She's retiring. I know she's just a baby, but she's retiring. But I'd like to ask, there has been many talented individuals that have helped the library district over the decades, but tonight we want to recognize Jen Schimber for her decades of talent, energy, and steady leadership. If you can believe it, Jen began her library career when she fell out of the crib back in October 30th, 1999, as a page. Doing her 30
89.
What was that year?
1989.
1980. Did I say 99? I'm sorry. That's where I started. 1989 as a page. During her 30-year tenure, she has held the following position of a page, community outreach and adult service coordinator, YPL Children's Service Librarian, YPL Children's Department Head, Assistant Branch Manager, Access Service Manager, Assistant Public Service Director, Public Service Director, and now she holds the position of Director of Library Operations. Not only has she an incredible career path in the library district, she has created countless library professions by hiring, nurturing librarians in every branch of the library district, as well as in the greater library land nationally. Even her family has been formed in the library land, as she met her husband Lenny at Clark County. She married him just to get him out of the library district, right? Jen's colleague has a lot to say about her. Jen is brilliant and funny. Jen has been an excellent supervisor and trusted mentor. She has a crackerjack sharp mind with a wit to match. She plows through challenges and comes to good workable solutions. I admire her drive, her intellect, her ability to bring parties together, and the fact that she apparently does not need help. She does not need sleep. And that's supposed to be funny because I've seen those emails coming out at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning. She sees the strength in everyone. Jen's hardest working mom I know, sending emails out at 1 a.m. and still getting back to Starbucks at 7 a.m. Jen has an effortless ability to balance her personal and professional life. She ensures her staff are heard, valued, and believe that they're an important part of the team. Jen is quiet, effective leader, and a step mover and shaker. Jen has ensured a stable organization even in the roughest of waters. We are losing one of the most valuable persons I have ever worked with. I want to close with Jen's own words. In a recent email she sent to staff about her upcoming retirement, these words reveal her special sauce. The essence of good leadership is always doing the right thing because you never know when someone is watching, paying attention, and indeed being inspired by a good example. Jen, we will miss you, but this district is stronger because it's shaped by your legacy of doing the right thing and leading by example. Thank you. Would you like to say a few words, Jen?
Before you do, you'll get the last word, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Shannon Bilberry Axelrod, any questions or comments? Director Schember?
Oh, absolutely. Well, this is just heartbreaking. I know it can't be easy for you either, but I've really enjoyed getting to know you over the years, whether it's been at library conventions and other cities or just working on projects here within the district. It's been a real pleasure, and thank you for all you've done in the last 30 years. Isn't that scary to say?
Thank you.
I'm with you on that. I'm like, that's not possible. So thank you for everything, and best of luck to you, and keep in touch.
Thank you.
Robin Wadley-Munier, any questions or comments for Director Schember? Unmute.
I'm going to miss you and all the employees, and congrats to you, having retired just a year ago. At first it was somewhat awkward, but I've really gotten into the groove now, so hopefully you will too. Thank you so much for all you've done over the 30 plus years.
Thank you.
Much. Merlin Francis Drake, any questions or comments?
I'm with Robin. It can seem kind of daunting at first, but it's just like any new job. You got to work your way into it. So if you need any tips or anything, you can call either Robin or myself. And if you want to do something, be more than fun to have you in the foundation in the warehouse working with us there too. So good luck, and thank you for all of your efforts and all of your work over the 30 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Jose Luis Melendez, any questions or comments?
No, just thank you for the years of service. Good luck to you, and enjoy your retirement. Highly earned.
Trustee Kelly Benavides.
I know nowadays it'd be hard pressed to find somebody, especially young adults, thinking that they could be at a job for 30 years. But I think that when you've been in a job that long, you can do it with your eyes closed. But yet, you were always so innovative, and you were always ahead of the game, and you never kind of sat back and let things happen. So I just want to say how much I appreciated you during all this time that I've been on the board. You've always been helpful, and you've always been there to answer questions. So congratulations. I can't say that I'm not jealous, but when you're having your margarita at 11 o'clock in the morning, have a drink for me. I appreciate it.
Much.
Thank you.
Trustee Sandra Raymaker, questions or comments?
I just want to thank you for all your years of dedication. I haven't got to be with you, but for the last couple, but I think it's great, and good luck with what you do afterwards, and enjoy life.
Will do.
Thank you very much. Trustee Rogers, any questions or comments?
Just thank you for your decades of service, and I didn't really get to know you personally. I've only been on the board a short time, but I've only heard positive things, and enjoy retirement. I know you deserve it, and I can't wait to be crossing that same finish line at some point in the future.
Very much. Trustee Wilson, any questions or comments?
Jenna, we never really got to know each other, but it speaks volumes that after giving 30 years of your life to this district, your last act with us is a selfless one to help save the district money in these times, and just speaks to the character of the person we're losing. Enjoy the retirement. I got a feeling with you, it won't be very long before you're bored and you find a new second career to move on to.
Thank you.
Jen, I'd like the record to reflect that you are the individual where the rubber meets the road. Facilities, staff, something goes wrong with staff, they get sick, a crisis, an event, and then the safety of our patrons, our constituents, our end users. That's a big, big elephant to monitor, to eat, to do every kind of analogy we can use. And with all that work, I mean, I've been here 6-7 years. You have done a tremendous job. You've had compassion. You've listened. Your staff believes in you. And so, and you have the bulk of the staff under you. So it's a testament to your hard work. Congratulations again. It's hard to see people go, but sometimes it's okay. And I'm sure we'll see you on a different side with a different agency or on personal, working personally your own contract. Congratulations again. Very proud of you. And Jen, you get the last word.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt, Jen. I believe Trustee Foyt has joined us. Did you want to give her an opportunity to speak before Jen does?
Thank you. Trustee Foyt, Jennifer Schember retires after 30 years, and we're doing salutations if you'd like to join in. Go ahead. Can you unmute her?
Elizabeth, you're muted.
Okay.
Can you?
Okay, go ahead.
All right, is that better? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Jen, best wishes. I hope the pandemic ends well and ends soon, and you can travel. We kind of feel like we're captives at the moment, and everyone, when they retire, should be able to take a fabulous trip, whether it's across this beautiful country or around the world. So enjoy your time because you've really earned it.
Thank you.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Director Schember, go ahead.
Well, I want to thank everybody on the board, all of the trustees who've been very supportive all of these years, to me, to the staff, and all of our initiatives. But I specifically want to thank my staff in library operations and all of the other staff that have to work on the front line for doing an amazing job under the current circumstances. It's really a tough time right now, and I just encourage everyone to hang in there to get through these next several months. I have been here for a long time, 31 years, so everybody's, this is like family to me, and I'm going to miss everybody, and I will definitely be in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and of course, this is always your home, no matter what. Thank you.
I
Thank
just
you,
like to
Go
remind
ahead.
Jen that she gets the gold card for, the patron gold card, Jen.
Oh, yes, the retirement,
the
retirement card.
Okay.
Great.
Thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Director James, the floor is yours again. Did you have anything else? Fred, did you have anything else? Unmute.
That was the end of my report, and that was dedicated for Jen's retirement.
Great job. We'll surely miss her. Okay, now moving on to program reports. They're in your packets or on Diligent, or if you printed them out. The first one is, does anybody have any questions or comments for branding and marketing? Betsy Ward? Okay, the next one is Community Engagement Report by Matt McAnally. Does anybody have any questions for Matt? Director McAnally? Okay. The next one is Development and Planning, Danielle Milam. Did I get that right? Does anybody have any questions for her? Information Technology Report by Al Pendergast. Does anybody have any questions for him? Okay. Administrative Services, Financial Services, Floresto Cabayas. Can you please come forward? Please step forward. Tell us real quickly what is going on with our BESS, the Voluntary Employment Separation Program.
Sure. Floresto Cabayas, acting CFO for the record. As of today, we have a total of 47 employees who accepted and had separation dates, and most of them retired from the district on September 4th. So as of now, about 40 of those 47 individuals have retired, and we've paid out approximately $3.3 million of the total $4.5 million estimated for the VESP and its total separation cost. There's about 7 individuals remaining that'll be retiring from the district over the next month or two, and that will be the end of the program at that time.
Thank you very much. Trustee Kelly Benavides, did you have any questions or comments for the director?
Not at this time.
Trustee Shannon Bilbray Axelrod, did you have any questions or comments?
I do. And maybe I just have never noticed this before, but when I was looking through, it's on page 196 and 197. I noticed that there's a charge for bed bug inspection over both months, so I'm guessing this is a monthly thing. It's an issue that we have in the library. I've never, it just for some reason jumped out at me, and I just was curious about it.
Okay, I can speak to that. Yes, bed bugs have been an ongoing issue for us at several of our branches over the past few years. And we have a service at some of the branches that go through periodically and actually inspect for bed bugs. Gentleman has a dog that can sniff them out. And when they find them, we treat the furniture or the materials with whatever the case might be.
Well, thank you. I'll keep that in mind next time I'm sitting down at one of the company chairs at my local branch. Thanks.
Okay.
Trustee Robin Wiley-Minier, do you have any questions or comments for Floresto? Can you unmute her? Okay. Trustee Robin Wiley-Minier, any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions at this time. Thank you.
All right, very good. Thank you so much. Trustee Marilyn Francis Drake, do you have any questions or comments for our CFO? I might have given him a promotion.
My only question is, the 3.5 was the estimated buyout. What is our estimated savings?
It depends on the positions that are filled and how long the position stays open, but it was $4.5 million in total costs that we will be paying out for the vest, and we expect to break even with that number, meaning that we recover those costs over time as these positions are held open within approximately 12 months. And at that point, we'll see exactly where we stand. We do expect savings as opposed to still making up the original cost. But at that time, once we do break even, it should just be ongoing savings from there. Again, that's assuming that we hold those positions open or fill the positions internally. As you can see in the chart in my report, that the majority of those positions will be held open or eventually filled internally, and we won't be backfilling those positions in order to realize those savings somewhere down the line.
All right, Trustee Jose Luis Melendez, any questions or comments?
No, sir, none at this time.
Thank you very much. Trustee Elizabeth Foyt, any questions or comments?
None at this time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Sandra Raymaker, any questions or comments?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Rogers, any questions or comments for our CFO?
Nothing at this time.
Thank you. Trustee Brian Wilson, any questions or comments?
I'd just like to thank Floresto for putting this report together that I'd asked for at the last meeting. I think this is great for us to see, and nice job on it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Moving down the list, does anybody have any questions for General Services Director Stephen Rice? Does anybody have any questions for our Human Resources Director, Mr. Jeffrey Serpico? Okay, having heard no questions, let's move on.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Trustee Foyt.
When the pandemic passes, which we hope is soon for everyone, is it possible that Director Serpico would consider looking into the job bank program at the area high schools and hiring some of the students who can earn credit as well as a small salary from us for a work experience type of thing? It's a program that exists throughout the school district at all of our public high schools, and we have a high school quite close to our main facility.
Absolutely, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Since that's not an agenda item, he'll come back to us with if he thinks it's viable and or with a proposal. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Trustee Foyt. All right. Anybody else? Any other directors? Okay, very good. Moving on to unfinished business. We have no unfinished business.
Excuse me, Chair Ortiz, do you want to get a motion to accept the reports?
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion to accept the reports.
So moved.
Second.
So moved by Dr. Rogers, second by Shannon Bilberry-Axelrod. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Is there anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much, Allison. Moving on to the next item, new business. We have a discussion and possible board action to declare the fines and fees approximately $1,719,452.15 that are 5 years old, dating from 2015, as uncollectible and purged from the district records. All right, who is on this item?
Presto, you're unmuted. No, we can't hear you. I can hear you.
Presto Kobayas.
Yes, go ahead.
All right. Can everyone hear me now? You can? Okay. Sorry about that. The district has been working with Unique Management Services for the last 20 years to collect delinquent fines and fees. And over that time, the district has recovered over $11.8 million in materials and $7.5 million in fines and fees. In 2004, the board authorized staff to purge approximately $700,000 in fines and fees that were 5 years old. At that time, staff recommended that each year, delinquent fines and fees that are 5 years old be reported to the board to be deemed uncollectible. Collection agencies advise the write-off of debts older than 5 years because they aren't likely to be recoverable. Collecting most of these debts is unlikely because of its age and the transient nature of the district's population. Staff will continue evaluating this 5-year rule of thumb to determine whether even more years should be deemed uncollectible in the future. But today, staff is again recommending that the board declare fines and fees that are 5 years old uncollectible in order to clear them, then purge the inactive patrons and delete these items from the district's database. There's approximately $1.7 million in outstanding fines and fees that accrued in 2015. $1.4 million of that amount is the cost of unrecoverable materials, and $300,000 is made up of late fees. There are also 30,000 outstanding accounts from the year 2015. The agenda item shows a comparison of this information for the calendar years between 2012 and 2015, but I can also answer any other questions that you may have.
Very much. Trustee Brian Wilson, did you have any questions or comments?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Trustee Robin Wadenier, did you have any questions or comments?
No, none at this time.
Thank you very much. Trustee Dr. Rogers, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not.
Trustee Sandra Raymaker, do you have any questions?
I do not. Thank you.
Please, Melendres, do you have any questions or comments?
Not at this time. Thank you for your support.
Trustee Elizabeth Floyd, do you have any questions or comments?
I do. I'm curious, where else is this information reported? Does it go to the county commission? Does it go to the city councils that participate in our system? Is it a public record of some type beyond our board meeting?
No, this information is internal. It's also not reported in the financial statements. It's not something that's accrued or recorded as a liability, for example. So this is just information that's recorded in the library system, Sierra, and that's used for recording fines owed and materials outstanding in order to identify patrons that aren't able to access district services because of the outstanding items or fines. And so it is not reported to any outside sources.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Trustee Marilyn Francis Drake, any questions or comments?
I think you just answered my question, but just to be sure, a person who is a person's fines and that are purged, that person still remains on the list of people that cannot access library materials and services. Is that correct?
No, by purging them from the system, a patron from 5 years ago will actually be able to return to the library and begin utilizing library services again or checking materials out. It removes them or purges them from the system so the block on their account originally is no longer active.
Trustee Drake, in our discussion, I went back and checked and had Presto to check to see if that was the case, that if we were purging, if there was any way to track that information, and so we got a clarification on your question, and so that's where we are today. No, once they're purged, they're out of the system. It is trying to encourage librarians, patrons to come back to the library, but those patrons will not know that their fines or fees have been purged anyway. Up under 5 years, library fees and fines are uncollectible. It used to be collectible through credit reporting. We no longer can credit report any human being for outstanding library books.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Trustee Shannon. Bilbray Axelrod, do you have any questions or comments?
I just would like to make a quick comment. I know in the time of COVID, we got rid of the fines. We just really want the materials back. And I'd really like to see that moving forward. It's a trend that's happening nationwide. The Chicago library system is the largest library system that recently did it, and just really trying to focus on getting the materials back, but not collecting those fines that continue to accrue and accrue. Because ultimately we are providing a service and we want people to be able to use our facilities. I tell a story that I found a library item from years ago and was actually kind of nervous to bring it back because I didn't know if the fines kept accruing. This was obviously long before I had served on the library board. So I think if we can get that information out, that we would like the material back if possible, but that's really all you'll be on the hook for. I think that we'll see a lot of people returning to the library with their heads held up high, not in shame because they discovered some material under their bed, 6 years later. So thank you for doing this, and I'm very much in favor.
Thank you very much. Trustee Kelly Benavides, any questions or comments?
No questions at this time. Thank you.
Very much. Okay, at this time, I'll entertain a motion for item number 8, capital A.
So, you want the whole recommendation probably, right?
Yes. Shannon, go ahead.
Sure, hold on. The motion to declare fines and fees of approximately $1,719,453.15 as uncollectible dating from the year 2015 and authorize staff to purge from the district's record.
Second.
I'll second.
Second by Senator Raymaker. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Robin, is that an aye?
Yes, aye.
Thank you so much. Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you so much. Moving on to our next item, item B. This is a discussion for possible board action to approve the days of closing the library for 2021. 13 paid holidays are allowed. And Director, who do you have on this? Brett?
Director of Human Resources.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Mr. Shepko, go ahead.
13 paid holidays are allowed to all full-time staff each calendar year as outlined in the collective bargaining agreements between the Library District and the Teamsters Local 14. Board approval is being requested for closing the Library District for the following 13 days, which are part of the agenda item. In addition, the district would like approval to close for one additional day, Staff Development Day, held on Monday, October 11th. The staff is recommending the approval of the proposed days of closing for calendar year 2021.
Okay, Trustee Benavides, do you have any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Trustee Shannon Bilbray Axelrod, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not.
Thank you so much. Trustee Marilyn Francis Drake, do you have any comments?
Not at this time.
Thank you very much. Trustee Elizabeth Foyt, do you have questions or comments?
Nothing at this time. Thank you so much.
Trustee Jose Luis Melendez, do you have any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Trustee Senator Raymaker, do you have any questions or comments?
Nothing at this time. Thank you.
Dr. Rogers, do you have any questions or comments?
Nothing at this time.
Trustee Robin Wadley, do you have any questions or comments? Trustee Robin Wadley Munier, did you have any questions or comments?
Time. None at this
Thank
time.
You so much. Thank you very much. Trustee Brian Wilson, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the calendar for 2021.
I can do that.
Go ahead, Robin Wadley Munier. Go ahead, read the motion, Robin. Okay. Robin?
I can make the motion. I move to approve the proposed days of closing for the calendar year 2021.
Thank you very much. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Second by Sandra Raymaker. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Is anybody opposed? Okay, motion carried. Thank you very much. Next item is item number C, discussion of possible board action to renew the district's contract for workers' compensation insurance coverage for 1 year. And who's on this, Mr. Serpico? Is that you?
Yes, Chairman Ortiz. Good evening. Jeffrey Serpico, Director of Human Resources. On September 12th, 2019, the board authorized the purchase of workers' compensation insurance through the district's broker of record, the Levitt Group, from WCF Insurance. That was a change at the time from Hartford to WCF in the amount of $73,743 for the period of October 1, 2019 through September 30th, 2020, with the provision of 5 additional renewals subject to review by council. For 2021 workers' compensation plan year, our district workers' compensation broker, Levitt Group, did request 6 quotes and received 5 annual premium bids from various workers' compensation carriers. The bid from our current vendor, WCF, came in at $69,917, or about $3,826 less than last year. This reduction was primarily attributed to statewide decrease in the rates for our job classifications, the ones assigned to our account, and the application of a judgment credit through the district's account. The staff is seeking authorization for the first of 5 renewal options for workers' compensation insurance through the district's broker of record, the Levitt Group, from WCF Insurance Company, with the provision for 4 additional renewals subject to review by council.
Thank you very much. Trustee Brian Wilson, did you have any questions or comments?
To curiosity, I remember when we switched last year, the original recommendation was to stay with Hartford. But our Levitt Group was saying that we weren't taking the lower bids. It was getting harder to get them. Was it easier to get bids this time around because we actually did make a switch?
We do have Mr. Guy Coutinho on the line from the Levitt Group. If I could request that information.
Go ahead. Mr. Coutinho?
Yes, certainly. I don't think my camera's working, but I hope you can hear me okay.
We can hear you.
Okay. Yes, it's been kind of difficult to get quotes because Hartford, you guys have been with them for so many years that companies really didn't want to bid, thinking that it would be a futile effort. But last year, when WCF came in $17,000 less than Hartford, that got the attention of the board as well as of our office and everyone. And we felt it was, since the coverages are state mandated by statute, that it would be to your benefit to accept that. This year, when I went out to bid, the companies had seen that you were seriously looking at competitive bids, and I was able to get 5 of 6 that I submitted to, and the 6th one just called me the other day wondering what the status was. I just told them they were a little late. But anyway, the premiums were very competitive this year. There was only about $6,000 between the lowest and highest. If we take Hartford out, they were $20,000 higher. But there was only $6,000 difference between them. And since WCF last year apparently did a very good job for you, I think that Director Serpico and Tricia Pavone discussed it and had a desire to stay with WCF at least this year to get through this COVID pandemic.
Much. Trustee Wilson, any more questions for Mr. Serpico?
No, thank you very much. I'm glad to see that us taking a chance and switching companies didn't come back to bite us with any problems.
Trustee Robin Wadley Munier, do you have any questions or comments?
Time.
Okay, thank you much. Trustee Rogers, did you have any questions?
No, I do not.
Thank you very much. Trustee Sandra Raymaker, did you have any questions or comments?
No, this is pretty straightforward, so I think it's great. Thank you.
Trustee Jose Luis Melendez, did you have any questions or comments?
No, sir, thank you.
Trustee Elizabeth Foyt, did you have any questions or comments? Trustee Elizabeth Foyt, did you have any questions or comments?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Best wishes on this. I'm glad we saved money. I'm glad it went forward. Good working with a fine company. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Marilyn Francis Drake, do you have any questions or comments?
No, just thank everybody for all their efforts. No questions.
Vice Chair Shannon Bilberry Axelrod, do you have any questions or comments?
No, just thank you for saving us almost $4,000.
Trustee Kelly Benavides, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much. I'll entertain a motion at this time for approval of this agenda item.
I can do that.
Trustee Wilson, go ahead and read the motion.
Motion to authorize the renewal of workers' compensation insurance through the district's broker of record limit group from WCF Insurance Company, $69,917 annual, with the provision for 4 additional renewals subject to review by council.
Okay, is there a second?
A second.
Second, I think it was Robin Wadley Munier. All in favor?
Robin?
Aye.
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 Is there anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. Tony, Ms. Principal. Item D, discussion and possible board action regarding a contract awards for janitorial maintenance services. And Mr. Rice, is that you?
Yes, it is, Chair Ortiz. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Steve Rice, General Services Director, for the record. Contracts for janitorial maintenance services for all district facilities expire on September 30th. A request for bid proposals was advertised in the Review Journal, posted on the district's website, emailed to minority chambers of commerce, and posted on the Nevada Government e-Marketplace. A pre-bid conference was held on July 16th, with the proposal opening on August 13th. A total of 7 proposals were received. 2 proposals were deemed non-responsive and subsequently rejected. A committee comprised of general services and library operations staff conducted a thorough evaluation of the proposals. The process involved the scoring and ranking of each proposal to establish the finalist for each bid group. The evaluation criteria and weighted values included demonstrated experience of the contractor and its key personnel had a 30% weighted value, experience and performance of comparable services and engagements, 24% weighted value, staff selection, training, retention, and supervision, 20%, billable rates, proposed billable rates, 18%, operating procedures, reports, and documentation, 5%, and uniforms and identification badge, 3%. Following are the proposal evaluation results. Bid Group 1 included the 13 urban branches and Laughlin, Blue Diamond, Indian Springs, and Mount Charleston, and Searchlight libraries. And you can see the proposal scoring ranking results, the first-year cost of the proposed fees, and the 5-year proposed fees by bidding contractor. Bid Group 2 included Mesquite Library and Learning Center, Moapa Town and Moapa Valley Libraries. And again, you can see the rankings and the proposed fees for the first year and 5-year cost. The responsive and responsible contractor that submitted the most comprehensive and advantageous proposal for Bid Group 1 is Best Janitorial Services of Nevada, and Bid Group 2, Best Janitorial Services of Nevada. The bid documents provide for an initial term of 1 year with the option to extend the contract for up to 4 additional 1-year periods, provided the contractor's performance remains satisfactory. The disclosure of ownership principles forms for best janitorial service is attached. There was a potential for a protest on this bid, but that was never submitted, so there is no protest. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Director. Trustee Kelly Benavides, any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Trustee Shannon Bilderyak, any questions or comments?
No, I do not.
Trustee Marilyn Francis Drake, any questions or comments?
None, thank you.
Trustee Elizabeth Floyd, any questions or comments?
None at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Jose Luis Melendres, any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Thank you. Trustee Chandra Raymaker, any questions or comments?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Dr. Rogers, any questions or comments?
Just curious, how do these current proposed rates compare with our current rates or annual amount, projected amount?
The first year proposed rates for best janitorial services, who is our current contractor, by the way, is actually 4% lower than what we're currently paying.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Robin Wadley Munier, did you have any questions or comments?
No, I do not.
Thank you so much. Trustee Brian Wilson, any questions or comments?
Thank you.
All righty, I'll entertain a motion to approve this motion.
I can make the motion.
Go ahead, Shannon.
Motion to authorize staff to award contract for janitorial maintenance service in accordance RFP number 21-02 for bid group 1 to Best Janitorial Service of Nevada for the annual amount of $1,099,592 and for bid group 2 to Best Janitorial Services of Nevada for an annual amount of $136,200. Authorize staff to extend the contract years subject to funding being available and the contractor continuing to meet performance standards outlined in the bid documents, subject to council review.
Very much. Is there a second?
A second.
I'm sorry, can you identify yourself?
Sandra Raymaker, a second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anybody opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Next item is discussion and possible board action regarding contract award for the HVAC system chiller replacement at Rainbow Library. Director Rice.
Yes, thank you. Steve Rice, General Services Director for the record. Funds are allocated in the Capital Projects Fund to replace the HVAC system chiller at the Rainbow Library. The existing chiller unit is approximately 26 years old and needs replacing due to age and recurring maintenance issues. The most cost-effective approach is to replace the unit versus investing in a progression of costly repairs. An invitation to bid was advertised in the Review Journal, posted on the district's website, emailed to minority chambers of commerce, and posted on the Nevada government e-marketplace. The bid opening was held on August 18th. A total of 10 bids were received. One bid was withdrawn by the bidder due to a mistaken fact in preparing its bid, and the bid results follow. And you can see those listed there. The lowest responsive and responsible bidder is Harris Las Vegas LLC, and their disclosure of ownership principles form is attached. And I'll answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Trustee Kelly Benavides, do you have any questions or comments?
No, sir. I know that this is, always expensive. Your feedback. Always an expensive item, but unfortunately, with
need to be done.
Trustee Shannon, Double Axelrod, did you have any questions or comments?
I do not.
Very much. Trustee Marilyn Francis Drake, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Boyd, do you have any questions or comments? Trustee Foyd, any questions or comments?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Trustee Osalis Melendres, do you have any questions or comments?
No, sir.
Thank you very much. Trustee Sandra Raymaker, do you have any questions or comments?
Not at this time, thank you.
Dr. Rogers, do you have any questions or comments?
I do not.
Thank you very much. Trustee Robin Wadley Munier, do you have any questions or comments?
No, but thank you, Steve, for your efforts on all of this.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Trustee Brian Wilson, do you have any questions or comments?
No, thank you.
Director Rice, thank you so much. Even though I don't live by it, I use that library a lot because it's where I do a lot of meetings. And yes, they needed an air conditioner, so thank you. Thank you very much. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve this item. Somebody have it there in front of them?
Wilson, I've got it.
Trustee Wilson, go ahead with the motion.
Motion to authorize staff to award a contract for the HVAC system chiller replacement at the Rainbow Library in accordance with bid number 21-01 to Harris Las Vegas LLC for the amount of $276,675, and to authorize staff to award the contract to the next lowest responsive and responsible bidder if Harris Las Vegas LLC fails to comply with the contract documents and construction specifications or fails to execute the contract.
Thank you very much. Is there a second on the motion?
I'll second, Sandra Raymaker.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Thank you very much. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. Having heard all the motions, and now let's move on to this time I'd like to slightly an announcement. First thing is that if any trustee has an item that would like to be placed on the agenda for the next meeting, please collect your thoughts and let us know. I'm going to go around. And then secondly, there's been a request to go back to our regular meetings in person. That doesn't mean you have to go back in person. You can still do WebEx. But please, let's have just a very 2-minute conversation by everybody on that. And so if we can go around the clock here, Brian Wilson, did you have any items for the next agenda that you'd like to be brought forward, or any items to talk about?
I do not.
Okay. And your thoughts on having in-person meetings?
Perfectly okay with in person.
Okay. Trustee Robin Wadley Munier? Trustee Robin?
I would be in favor of going back to meetings in person for several reasons. For those who are not comfortable with it, they have the option to not do so. But I am noticing on this, I'm at the Windmill Library and using the facilities here, and everybody is breaking up. I mean, I can't understand, but about every 5th word you say, Felipe, is, I can't hear. I don't know how Allison's recording it to do the transcript of the minutes, and that's happened with everybody that's been talking. I also think that people are, a lot of times there's some of us that when they're at home, they're watching TV or catching up on something. There's a lot of background noise, barking dogs and other things. It makes it difficult to concentrate on the meetings and to hear everything. So, and I'm just as guilty of all of that as anybody else.
Thank you. Do you have any agenda items for the next meeting that you'd like to bring forward?
What?
Do you have any agenda items?
I'd like to consider having a meeting this coming December because of the pandemic and the fact that we're looking for a new director. I feel like that we really need to take advantage of that time to be able to do so. So that would be one thing I'd like to talk about.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Rogers, do you have any questions or comments on having in-person meetings? And or is there an item that you would like to be heard?
I do not have an item to add to the agenda, and no, I will not be attending in-person meetings at this time.
Very good. Trustee Sandra Raymaker, do you have any questions or comments on attending in person and or any agenda item that you would like to be brought forward?
I don't have any agenda items. I could go either way. I think at this time we are better doing virtual meetings. I too like being in person and talking and being able to, but I really think at this time it we're better to just stay virtual. Thank you.
Jose Luis Melendres, did you have any questions or comments on in-person meetings and or did you have an agenda item?
Yeah.
If I might interrupt, I couldn't even understand what she said. Every other word was bleeped out.
Trustee Raymaker said she was comfortable doing either way, having the meeting in person or on WebEx, and that she also felt did not have any agenda items.
Okay, I couldn't understand what the first part you said. She said, and then there was a blank, and then.
Trustee Sandra Raymaker did not have a problem with WebEx or in-person meetings. She was
Meeting in person.
Either one. She was okay with either one.
Either way. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Jose Luis Melendres.
Yeah, I don't have any new agenda items, and until the governor declares it safe for everybody to return to whatever normalcy is, I'm perfectly good with these WebEx meetings. And I might recommend to those who are having trouble. I know that the library was able to help me with a hotspot that I can use for these meetings, and it seems to be working just fine. So I would look into whatever other resources are, because again, until the governor declares it safe or they come up with a vaccine, this thing is still very dangerous, and a lot of people are still dying from it. 190,000 people now, and it's nothing like the flu. So thank you.
Very much. Trustee Elizabeth Foyt, your thoughts on in-person, and also if you have any agenda items that you'd like to be called forward.
Speaking of the flu and the pandemic, I hope everyone is getting their flu shots early this year. I definitely prefer the in-person meetings with social distancing and masks. I'm perfectly happy doing that. I much prefer it, as you can tell, since my face isn't showing tonight. I'm also hoping that we can place on the agenda, because I've never seen anything about it in the time I've served on the board, a review of the contract for legal services. I don't know if we're paying a monthly retainer, which has a certain amount of hours built in, or whether we're paying per hour per attorney working on cases for us. I'm curious. I've never seen that brought before the board, and I've been on the board for 2.5 years. I'd also like to see perhaps an analysis of current revenues. We know there's a financial storm coming at us. I'd like to see how we're placed, and if we are, do we have an eye to targeting areas we might save, cut back, dismantle, or discontinue? These are important issues. And I would like to also mention, and perhaps this ties in with the financial, is that I have been contacted personally by a number of nonprofits and governmental agencies concerning the hacking of financial information. This is an ongoing issue locally as well as nationally, but the UNLV Foundation, Truro University, Planned Parenthood, Salvation Army, any number of them, and we don't want to create chaos for either our employees, our own finances as an entity, or for the public that we serve. So I'd like to see those, and I have presented them out in a written form, and I'll send that to you, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Director, there's no discussion, but if you can send something on the attorney's fees, it's probably not for discussion, but just if you can attach it to as backup to us, so you could send it to us directly, everybody. The projections might be something for Floresto to do a presentation, if he's prepared to do that.
We can do those in November if you allow us to wait till that's by the time we do our analysis.
Okay.
This year, we're going to be doing, in November, we'll be having the audit report for June 30th, which finalizes the numbers for the prior fiscal year. By November, we will have just enough information to be able to do some kind of analysis of our revenue at that particular time. The legal hours, that's going to take a little while, but we can get that information to you. Maybe.
Excuse me. Can you hear me? Don't we have a contract?
Can you mute yourself, please?
Somebody please mute. Okay, thank you. Trustee Floyd, it's not for discussion at this time, but the question is, the question would be, please identify whether there is a contract or not when you send that in, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, it's not agendized right now, so. And then the only, just as a matter of public record, we do have insurance in case we're hacked. And then I think that was in IT's department, if he can maybe provide us with the paperwork of, or maybe it's in general services who has the insurance. So those three items, if you can just do them, give them to the board, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Sorry, they're not agendized, so we're not allowed to really have a discussion.
Oh, no, I understand. Forgive me.
Thank you so much. Trustee Marilyn Francis Drake, your thoughts on having in-person meetings and any item that you would like to be brought forward?
I will be there for in-person. I would prefer that. I think there is a lot to do with proximity of people. We're becoming awfully scattered, I believe. We aren't the group, any feeling and that we are one board. We are a whole bunch of people out there in our living rooms and our dining rooms and our dens. We are not a group. I feel that I take care of myself. I don't go out a whole lot. But I've been at the meetings when they've been in person, and they have always been distance, and I feel very safe at the meetings. I do not have anything for an agenda item. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Shannon Bilberry Axelrod, did you have any agenda item or any comment on the in-person?
I do not have any agenda items at this time, but I thank you for asking that. I would just like to say on the record, and I think I've been pretty outspoken on this, we as a legislature, in an interim finance committee, all our interim committees are meeting by web. Fortune 500 companies are doing it as well. We just had a whole department at the Las Vegas Library Board have to go into quarantine, and including our director who was exposed for 15 minutes. I think that we are unfortunately dealing with a false sense of security. Our numbers are still above 10%. We're nowhere near being safe to the point. And not only are we asking or risking our own lives, which I guess is fine, you have your right to do that, but we're also putting our staff at risk, because when you go in and we have that meeting, even if it's socially distanced, we are asking our staff to come in and staff those events. And I just don't think that's right. I think that we have a duty to protect our staff. And I know this isn't great, but I, for one, I've got my iPad here, I got my notes here, I've got my computer here. I'm not doing anything else. I'm paying attention, I'm taking notes. And just because I'm not in person doesn't mean that I'm not 100% involved in this committee and feel like a committee member. So I just think for all those reasons, I do not think it's a good idea. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Trustee Kelly Benavides, do you have any agenda items and your thoughts on in-person meetings?
No agenda items at this time. I do understand listening to the frustration of some of the board members that would like to meet in person. At this time, I'm not comfortable. I think doing the WebEx, unfortunately, this is our current normal. I don't want to say our new normal, but our current normal. I can hear perfectly well. I see everybody perfectly well. I know some of those trustees that might be having problems, if we can ask library staff IT to maybe meet with them, give me help, maybe a tutorial, give them some sort of materials or, a laptop, whatever we need to do to make sure that these trustees that are feeling disconnected don't feel like that anymore. But I agree with those trustees that feel comfortable staying at home safe. I'm still at that point where I'm very cautious about where I go. I have 2 elderly parents that live with me, so I'm very particular about how I expose myself to be able to bring something home that I don't want to. So at this time, I would like to continue WebEx. For those that would like to attend in person, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to having that, but then when I heard Trustee Bilbert Axelrod talk about us, putting our staff in a situation where they don't have a choice, right? We have a choice whether we would like to meet in person, attend in person, or do it through WebEx, but our staff doesn't. So in that point, I would agree to just keep it WebEx for the current time. Thank you.
Very much. Well, I don't have a problem with being in person. Number one, anybody that has a problem, obviously they can do WebEx. Have any medical issues, please see our HR director and advise him only. Don't tell anybody else, and they'll direct you on how to deal with it. For those that want to continue on WebEx, please do. It's our own comfort level, but I guess I get the final say based on the polling, not a voting, a polling. It looks like more people want to be in person. So if plus the meeting, this meeting is a Board of Trustee meeting, it's not a staff meeting. And lastly, the staff is already there with open libraries. And so we're not asking them to reopen a library that's closed. It's already open and they're already there. So they probably deviate their hours later. So let's go ahead and do a mixed meeting. Our next meeting, if we can do a mixed meeting with in-person and WebEx, and we'll try to do from there. And so it looks like that's the majority of individuals that want that. And so we'll try it again and see what happens. Hopefully things improve. Jerry, did I miss anything?
Nope.
Okay. Okay. So Allison and Director James, a mixed meeting, and for any director that cannot make it because of health reasons, contact the HR director and we'll see you on WebEx. You don't need to tell us why, you just contact the HR director. And anybody else, please, we seem to be doing good both ways, but let's go ahead and do that based on the polling that I got here. So are there any other questions from anybody? So we're going to do a mixed meeting the next meeting.
Trustees don't have to, I don't believe they have to call the HR director. They don't want to show up in person. They just don't have to show up in person under the current environment.
Thank you for me not being clear. Yes, just don't show up. And just a reminder, if you have medical issues, please contact the HR director on a separate note. Thank you so much. Okay, so Allison, if you can help prepare us, or Fred, if you can help prepare us for the October 8th meeting at 6 o'clock. That's it for the agenda items. At this time, we have public comment. Topics raised under this item cannot be acted upon until notice of provisions of the open meeting law have been met. If you wish to make a public comment on this meeting, you may send an email, boardcomments@lvccld.org. Ms. Allison, do we have anybody that would like to make a public comment?
Yes, we do. We have Grant Davis from Teamsters 14, and I think we're flipping him over to where he can speak. Give us just a second.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis, whenever you're ready.
Welcome. You have 3 minutes.
Can you hear me now? Did I hit the right button?
You got it. Mr. Davis, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you for letting me have a couple minutes here. Director and Trustees, my name is Grant Davis. I am the president of Teamsters Local 14. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you this evening. I want to address some concerns the union and the members have about the recruitment and hiring process for the new executive director. Specifically, the possibility that we hear the district is considering attempting to lower the requirements for library experience and the educational requirements to qualify for the executive director position. It has come to our attention that the district would like to hire a director with less than the state's current minimum standards of an MLS degree and less than the American Library Association's recommendation of 10 years of librarian experience. It is our understanding the district has even had conversations about considering someone who has limited or no previous library experience to be the executive director. It is our opinion that this would be a huge mistake with very negative effects on the district and its staff. We believe that in the current world, an executive director with library experience is even more important than ever. Navigating the world of COVID is difficult and would be made even more difficult if the new executive director not only had to learn the library world, but also had to do this while having to deal with the obstacles and challenges of COVID. This lack of knowledge and education of the library field would cause a deep learning curve that would slow innovation and progress in the district, possibly for years. In addition, what message would this send to all the employees who work so hard for the degrees they hold if the board would be willing to hire an individual without the necessity of the education and previous experience to be their leader? It sends a message to the staff that the education, experience, and professionalism of librarians and the years of hard work are not necessary. I believe it would be a showing of great disrespect to all these professionals. A strong director with a library background and education would help in gathering the trust of the staff from the beginning of their tenure. Most skilled professionals require a degree in their specific fields. The leader of this library district should be no different. In conclusion, we implore the board not to cut corners with the recruitment and hiring of the new executive director. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else, Ms. Ellison?
Nobody else at this time.
Okay, having heard that, there is no executive session at this time. I would move to adjourn the meeting. You guys have a good night. Thank you so much.